9 classes in, you've been building your setup, your voice, your toolkit. Today it gets real, because today we point all of it at the one place that actually pays you, your pipeline. Here's the idea I want you to hold on to for the whole hour. Your money is already living inside your CRM. Every lead you have ever worked is sitting in Follow Up Boss or Bold Trail right now, and some of those people are ready to buy. The problem was never getting leads. The problem is that the money is buried, and you don't have time to dig it out by hand. That's the job we're handing Claude today. While you're closing the buyers in front of you, Claude works the database behind you, pulling out the next customer and the one after that, so your pipeline never runs dry. 3 workflows. Let's go. Let me give you some numbers I've checked myself. These have held since before we were even on Flex, back when we just bought leads. Out of every 100 leads, somewhere around 40 of those people are going to buy a home, most of them in the first few months. 40 real buyers in every 100. Now here's the honest part, and I want you to hear it the right way. You are never going to get all 40. Nobody does. Not the best agent who ever lived. A big chunk of those people already have a realtor, or they're just picking your brain for an answer. Realistically, maybe half of those buyers were ever gettable in the first place. So the real game was never 40. It's the ones you actually had a shot at. And when you look at it that way, you're doing well. The buyers you're closing are a healthy share of the ones you could get. But here's the whole reason we're here today. There is a pool sitting in your follow-up boss right now that's just about the same size as the deals you've already closed. For every buyer you put under contract, there's roughly one more in your database you could have gotten. Not because you're bad at this, because there are only so many hours in a day, only so many calls you can make, only so many people you can hold in your head at once. That's exactly why we bought the CRM, to keep every one of them tracked and sorted so nobody falls through. And now, with Claude on top of it, you've got an assistant that can reach into that database anytime and hand you the 5 people you need to call right now. So the limited time you do have goes straight to the buyers you actually have a shot at closing. So let's talk about what your job actually is, because I think it reframes the whole thing. At any moment, Zillow has thousands of people clicking around on their site. Out of maybe 5,000 of them, they've used everything they know to find the 100 most likely to buy. And those are the 100 they hand to you. Sit with that. They've already done 90% of the work before your phone ever rings. Your job is the last 10%. Out of those 100 calls, you have to find the roughly 20 people who are, number 1, actually going to buy a home in our area, and number 2, gettable. They're not already tied up with another agent. That's the whole game. Find those 20, fast. And here's what most people miss. The follow-up isn't only about finding the good ones. It's just as much about eliminating the dead ones. Every time you actually get someone on the phone, you learn the truth. Are they real? Do you have a shot? Or are they just picking your brain with a realtor cousin already lined up? That's why we hit them the way we do those first couple of weeks. The calls, the voicemails, the texts, the emails, the whole Terminator routine. We're not being a pest. We're getting them to answer one question. Are you a serious buyer? And do I have a shot with you? In a perfect world, the 2 people who are actually going to buy from you would call with a different ringtone, and Zillow would just hand you guaranteed buyers. But if they could do that, they wouldn't need us. They'd keep the commission themselves. They got you 90% of the way. You finished the last 10. And that final sort is exactly what Claude is built to speed up. So if the buyers are already sitting in your CRM, why is this so hard? Here's the honest answer. Most agents use about 10% of what Follow Up Boss can actually do. And it's not because they're lazy. It's because the interface asks more from you than it gives back. Think about everything FUB already knows. It knows who you haven't touched in 30 days. It knows who's been parked in the same stage for 3 weeks. It knows who opened your last email and never replied. Every answer you need is already in there. The catch is getting it out. That takes smart lists and filters and reports most agents never have time to build, let alone check every single morning. That's the gap. The leads are there. The CRM knows everything, but the knowing is buried. And that is exactly where Claude comes in. It bridges that gap. You don't build a filter or learn a report. You open Follow Up Boss in Chrome, you ask your question in plain English, and you get a plain English answer back. The data never leaves FUB. Claude just does the digging and tells you who to call. Before the workflows, 2 quick levels, because it tells you where we are today and where we're headed. Level 1 is what we use right now, and it's about as simple as it gets. You open Follow Up Boss in Chrome with Claude turned on in the sidebar. You ask your question in plain English. Who should I call today? Who's gone quiet? Claude reads the lead files right there on the screen. No export, no spreadsheet, no copy-paste. It hands you the answer, and you drop that answer back into FUB as a note or a task. That's it. It works today on every desktop with nothing to install. Level 2 is the direct connection, an integration that wires Claude straight into your Follow-Up Boss account through the back door. No browser needed at all. And I'm going to be straight with you about where that stands. It's built. It's installed and tested on my machine. We're about 90% there. The one thing holding it up is that Follow-Up Boss just changed their security keys, and we're waiting on a fix from them. The day that lands, this turns on, and the only thing that changes is it gets even easier. Today, Level 1, Chrome. 3 workflows. That's the whole class. Each one is a different way of reaching into the CRM and pulling money out, and each one runs on its own clock. Workflow 1 is the morning brief, daily, before you make a single call. It tells you who to call today and why. That's you mining today's money. Workflow 2 is the weekly audit, once a week. It finds what's slipping, the stalled leads, the showings where you never introduced ZHL, the people who should move to long-term nurture. That's you plugging the leaks before money drains out. Workflow 3 is the bold trail handoff. Every single time a lead moves to long-term nurture. It writes a summary so nothing you learned gets lost. That's you protecting money for later. Run them in order, and here's the payoff. While you're working the buyers who are actively in the process, Claude is quietly working the rest of the database, keeping the next customer surfacing so your pipeline stays full. By the end of class, all 3 are saved in your My AI Prompts file. Workflow 1, the morning brief. This is the one you'll run Monday morning before your first call. Read the prompt on the screen. In Chrome, you pull up your active lead list in Follow-Up Boss, and you ask Claude to browse it and build you a call plan, ranked by who to call today and why, with anyone stuck in the same stage for 2 weeks flagged, and anyone who had a showing but no ZHL conversation flagged. What comes back is not a list, it's a plan, with reasoning. Look at the example. Call Jim first because he's been shown a property but hasn't made an offer, which usually means he's sitting on an objection he hasn't said out loud. Call Maria, because 19 days and engaged no appointment is exactly when a lead goes cold. Tom gets a ZHL flag so you don't miss it again. 5 minutes and you've replaced 20 minutes of scrolling and guessing. And every name on that plan is money you might have let sit another week. File this one as morning pipeline brief. Workflow 2, the weekly audit. Once a week, Friday or Monday, you point Claude at your full active list. Here's why you need it even if you run the morning brief every day. The morning brief works from urgency. Who needs me right now? But the leads that quietly cost you money aren't urgent on any given day. They just slip a little each week until they're gone. The weekly audit catches them. Claude hands you 3 lists. Stalled. Same stage for 2 weeks, nothing moving. You decide to push or let go. ZHL gaps. Buyers you took on a showing but never logged a ZHL introduction. That's straight money because the transfer rate metric counts every connection, and Claude finds the ones you forgot. And bold trail candidates. 30+ days, no appointment, multiple attempts. Those aren't dead, they're long game, and they belong in nurture where the system keeps working them while you don't have to. 10 minutes a week. It keeps your pipeline clean and your ZHL number honest. Lock it into the same slot every week. Workflow 3, the bold trail handoff. This is the one that protects everything you built. When a lead moves to bold trail, it doesn't just go quiet. It moves to a whole different system. And everything you know about that person, their timeline, the objection, the property they loved, stays behind in Follow-Up Boss. Bold trail gets a name and an email. That's it. A year later, they wake up, somebody calls them back, and that person is starting cold with someone who still remembers your whole team. The steps are on the screen. In Chrome, open the lead's profile, open Claude in the sidebar, and ask it to read the page and write a lead intelligence summary, under 200 words. What you know, what they need, what stopped them, what brings them back. Copy it, paste it into bold trail, pin it to the top. Look at the John and Linda example, the whole story in 150 words. Whoever picks them up in August already knows everything. From today on, no lead moves to bold trail without one. That's how you keep the money from leaking out the back. This is our live demo, so we're going to pause the slides here and run it together on a real pipeline, Jens's active Zillow leads. If you're watching the recording, this is your cue to pause. Everything I'm doing is laid out on this slide, step by step. Read through it, then open Follow-up Boss in Chrome and run the same steps on your own active leads. Take as long as you need and start the video again when you're ready for the next one. This slide is the heart of the whole class, so stay with me. Your active pipeline gets attention every single day. Your long-term database, the hundreds of leads sitting in BoldTrail, gets almost none. And that is exactly where the most money is sleeping. These aren't bad leads. A lot of them were serious buyers who hit a timing problem. Their home up north hadn't sold, the job wasn't settled, and then they fell off your radar. The timing problem is gone now. They're ready. They just haven't heard from you. Look at the questions on the screen because this is the money coming out. Who came in over 60 days ago and was never called? Who's been poking around the website lately but has never had a real conversation? Who's searching in a specific city at a price point you have inventory for? Claude reads what's right there on the screen and hands you a list. No export, no filter building, no guessing. And it's the same Chrome workflow you just learned. Same tool, same habits. You've simply pointed it at a different database. This is the part that keeps your pipeline full while you're busy closing the people already in it. Same idea here. We're pausing for a live demo, this time pointed at BoldTrail instead of your active pipeline on Shonda's Nurture database. If you're watching the recording, pause now. The steps are all on the slide. Open BoldTrail in Chrome, run them on your own long-term leads, and watch what Claude pulls up. When you're done, start the video again and we'll wrap up. 5 things to walk out with. 1. Your money is in your CRM, and Claude reads it right there in Chrome. No new system, no new login. Open FUB, ask in plain English, get a plain English answer. No export, no paste. 2. 3 workflows, 3 cadences. Morning brief daily, weekly audit weekly, BoldTrail handoff every time a lead moves. All 3 in your My AI prompts file by the time you leave. 3. Specific beats generic, every time. The follow-up that names this person's actual situation will always outpull the check-in template, and Claude makes that fast enough to do on every lead. 4. No lead moves to BoldTrail without a lead intelligence summary. Starting today, no exceptions. That's how the story follows the money. 5. You're building toward the automatic connection, but the habit comes first. When the connector goes live, it just removes the Chrome step. The behavior is identical. Build the habit now, and the automation will feel like an upgrade, not a new thing to learn. 4 tasks this week, all inside your real pipeline. Do at least 2 before Thursday. 1. Monday morning before any calls, run the morning brief in Chrome on your active leads. Read the plan and notice anything that surprised you, a name you would have skipped, a ZHL gap you forgot. 2. Run the weekly audit on your full active list and write down how many ZHL gaps come back. That number is your accountability number. I'm going to ask for it at the start of Class 10. 3. Move 1 lead to BoldTrail with a lead intelligence summary. Just 1. From here on, that's the standard every time. 4. Confirm all 3 workflows are saved in your My AI prompts file. Zillow FUB prompts, 3 entries. 2 minutes, don't skip it. Class 10 is next week, your social media engine. We turn 1 listing into 30 days of content, so bring a listing, active, pending, or recently sold. See you Thursday. 9 weeks. Class 1. You learned why this is worth your attention. Classes 2 through 8, you built your setup and your toolkit. Today, you put it where it actually pays you, your pipeline. Remember the one idea. Your money is already in the CRM. 3 workflows pull it out. The morning brief tells you who to call. The weekly audit finds what's slipping. The handoff makes sure nothing gets lost on the way to the coma ward. And while you're closing the buyers in front of you, Claude keeps working the database behind you, surfacing the next one, so your pipeline stays full. That's not someday, that's Monday morning. Class 10 next week. Bring a listing, and we'll turn it into 30 days of content. See you Thursday.